welcome to another video. So this is a video about chemicals, and this is for anybody and everybody. Share this. I'd rather people know about this than not. It could feel a little bit lengthy, but we're talking about chemistry here. So, and we're putting chemicals on, people's furniture or bathrooms or whatever. We kind of need to know what we're using. And so, if you're working with me and you want to know like what chemicals are under the sink at the place that you showed up to, maybe they're supplying the chemicals, maybe I am, maybe you are, but this video is just for educational purposes for anybody. Excuse me. All right. So, there are basically, there are two basic chemicals that you kind of don't want to interact with each other. One is acid and one is bleach. And they're popular in the cleaning industry. So much of what you find on the shelf, whether it's Walmart or whether it's a professional janitorial company, selling you something in a gallon that you put in a spray bottle. A lot of these things have bleach or some acid in them. You go to Home Depot and there's a big gallon jug of, acid to clean your bathroom with or whatever. There's also hydrogen peroxide. That would be a third. It's getting more common now, but it's not as common as acid and bleach. And then of course there's degreasers, and those function a little bit differently. And I tend to not use a lot of degreasers because I'm cleaning offices and buildings, and even when I'm cleaning kitchens, I'm not cleaning up a lot of grease. That's it's an office kitchen of some kind. So we won't talk about that a whole lot. There's also Windex. So I'm doing the Windex. So here's Windex. I always keep my Windex on my right. It's just my habit. But you should know, Windex can be either ammonia-based or vinegar-based. Vinegar is an acid, and ammonia is not. And so those two things can't mix. So if you have, and you can go to Walmart and it'll say Windex with ammonia, and there'll be another Windex. It doesn't say that. It's likely the other one. So you have to make sure that you're not, like, say you have just a little bit left in here and you want to refill it from the big gallon jug. Well, you've got to make sure that you're refilling ammonia Windex with ammonia product and not. So, all right, moving on from that. It is not as basic as we would hope. There's so many different kinds of Windex now. So whether it's Windex brand, but you got to make sure that you're not mixing your vinegar base with your ammonia base products. Moving on. I don't want this video to get too long. Okay, now, most importantly, we're going to talk about bleach and acid. And these products right here, obviously they say Clorox on them, but we need to know how to identify what we're spraying, like what's in here. Just because it says bathroom doesn't mean anything. You guys know that, but it says mold and mildew. And so, I mean, that should tell you it's bleach. There's bleach in there. And then right here it says contains bleach. And even down here in this little itty bitty, yeah, I should be moving this up here. But you can see it says contains bleach. And then here's actually what's in it. And sodium hypochlorite, that's bleach. So if your bathtub or toilet or whatever has black stuff coming out from around under the rim, or pink mold kind of in the water because the toilet's not getting flushed often enough, and mold and mildew actually starts developing in the water. Oh, it happens. You might want to use bleach, but you got to make sure that's what you're what you have. This is another item, cleaners plus bleach. So If you spray this anywhere on your jeans, your clothes, your shoes, you're going to bleach your clothes. And you don't want this anywhere near acid, because when acid and bleach mix, you have kind of this, it'll kind of smoke. Like there'll be like a little smoke that develops, and it will hurt your lungs pretty bad. Like you'll instantly not be able to breathe and need to leave the room. So it can be very dangerous. Okay, here's another one, Lysol. This one is peroxide, hydrogen peroxide. So it's not bleach and it's not acid. So this one is probably a safer bet for that mold and mildew. Hydrogen peroxide is pH neutral, so you can use it on marble, limestone, anything soft and delicate. Hydrogen peroxide is the way to go. So this is the spray that has hydrogen peroxide and cleaner. I used to have to make my own 20 years ago when I was cleaning really high-end homes with like marble showers. You couldn't use bleach because it would etch the marble. You couldn't use acid. It would even be worse. So I had to make up my own hydrogen peroxide soapy mixture to clean marble with. Now we have it on the shelf. But anyway, so that's hydrogen peroxide. It's pretty safe anywhere, but read your labels. Okay, so what is this? Comet bleach powder form. It's a little, I don't know, less likely to get on your clothes and bleach your clothes because it's a powder, and then until it gets wet, it kind of isn't actively bleaching anything. I always put tape on it because I don't want all of the holes exposed. I don't want to use that much, but I use this as toilet bowl cleaner frequently. Sprinkle it in the toilet bowl and then use my swab or scrubber or whatever, and then flush. But again, bleach. And one more time for emphasis. Yeah, this is a toilet bowl cleaner. Sometimes I'm using toilet bowl cleaner if the client buys it, but a lot of times I just use Comet powder. It's the same thing. You want bleach. If you need bleach, use Comet powder. If you don't want to spend, the bank on this, tends to get expensive if you're cleaning a lot of places. But it says right here what's in it, and here it kills 99% of viruses and bacteria. That's kind of a hint that there's probably bleach in here. And so yeah, there's that. Okay, we're moving on to acid. Let's start with this. This is CLR, and it's acid, and it's meant to do a completely different job than bleach. If you have mold and mildew growing in a tub or toilet or whatever, this is not the product for that. This is for hard water deposits, white crusty buildup, white stains around your faucets, so hard and soap scum, all of that is you need acid for. So back when I was cleaning houses, we would have to use both. We'd use bleach to get all the mold and mildew out of the shower, rinse it down, and then use the acid product to get the hard water deposits from around the handles and the spouts. Anyway, calcium, lime, and rust, and that's what acid gets rid of, and that's why it's called CLR. So this is the same thing in powder form. It tells you all the things: stainless steel, porcelain, ceramic. These are the things that you can use it on, but it's going to shine everything up, and it really is going to get rid of stains and stuff, because it's the calcium and lime that are holding on to dirt and grime and then sticking to the sides of porcelain, and that stuff is really hard to get off once it's on there, unless you use some kind of acid and let it sit on there and then scrub it off. Acid. It also comes in a paste. I prefer this. It works faster. Same product though. Again, calcium lime rust. It's what acid gets out. So lime out, it's acid. It says right on there, acid. It does the exact same thing that all of these other acid products do. And guess what? Toilet cleaner comes in an acid as well. So you can buy toilet bowl cleaner that's got bleach in it, but you can also buy toilet bowl cleaner that's got acid. So just the same idea as the tub is like if you're dealing with mold and mildew building up around the water spouts in the toilet, you need some bleach. But if you're dealing with hard water deposits creating a ring, like where the water sits because the city has really hard water, you need to be using this every now and then. You need to know your product and what problem you're trying to solve. Okay, so there's acid and bleach and even some hydrogen peroxide knowledge, I guess, some chemistry for you. If you have any questions about chemicals, I love talking about it. 785-766-0146. You can call me and ask any questions. My chemistry background, I loved it, and so now I kind of get to talk about it a little bit. So, and I love, like, how do you get stains out of carpets? I can tell you what products to use, smells, whether it's urine or whatever it is. There's a specific chemistry to deal with it. So I love that kind of stuff. All right, another fun video. See you next time.